Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to 537 of the DrunkNerds podcast. I'm host, as always. I'm Tyler, and joining me, we have the man, the myth, the legend himself, Sir Colonel Gables. What's up, buddy?
Oh my god, let me tell you, dude, I am feeling so freaking good after this Nintendo Direct. I mean, you have no fucking idea. But it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
as a recording, it's the middle of the week. You and I just decided to do this as an emergency podcast because of pretty much how freaking good that Direct was today,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And quite honestly, I'm feeling pretty damn awesome. Tyler, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's a big day. I'm on day 5 of my 9-day vacation. Bittersweet. We're past the halfway point this time, but it was a big day. I put pants on for the first time since I got off work Friday. So that was a pretty big occasion. Um, I'm now about 4 hours into this game right here.
Hey, okay.
Forspoken for our audio listeners. Um, and yeah, I watched this direct. I did a live reaction earlier today, so that was pretty cool. I was telling you before the show, Gables, not a big fan of these afternoon directs. I like them. Don't get me wrong, I like them on days when I'm working, but
Mm-hmm.
just so I'm be on vacation this week. I just want the goddamn direct happen. I'm just kind of like killing time until the direct. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, it was a pretty interesting day. Definitely it was a nice little thing to do because like I said, day 5 of this vacation. I'm not going anywhere. Just kind of home. So you know, it's like kind of nice to have like something to look forward to throughout the day. But yeah, we are here. It's a special occasion with us here. We are doing a midweek. We don't do these very often, especially live. Sometimes we
No.
might do like we might can't like put something in the can and do 2 episodes in one night on a Saturday and post the other one on Wednesday. But we're doing this live, mainly like I said, uh, I'm off work, so I don't have to. It's like 11 o'clock my time, so I'm off work. You're 2 hours behind me, so it was actually doable
Yep.
to do it. And yeah, it was a big enough to direct. I figured to do one of these. So Gables, without further ado, let's get into it, buddy. Um,
Yep.
so I don't know. Do you want like we can break these down one by one? We can talk. I got everything down here in order. Um,
Why don't we break it down one by one?
Okay, yeah, some of the stuff that I feel like we can kind of fly through. So start off, we got a trailer for Pikmin 4. First time we got actually got some see some gameplay. It's come out July 21st, and it looks like you're like in like a backyard, almost like a Honey I Shrunk the Kids, like a grounded situation.
Mm-hmm.
You're not playing as Captain Olimar as far as we can tell, unless that's Captain Olimar back when he had hair, um, which I hate him even more now because he's a ginger. I don't like gingers. It's the thing. Gingers, Amish people don't like them. Um, oh boy, don't get me wrong. If you're a ginger Amish, that's scary. I just thought about that. I never thought about that before. But that's scary either. Anyways, back to Pikmin 4. Gail, you're supposed to keep me on track. But yeah. So we have. I can't remember the name of the dog. I think they said the name of it in the trailer. But there's a little dog buddy you have with you. I've never been a big Pikmin person, but I'm a sucker for dogs. Um, I didn't see if you could pet the dog though. That's something I want to know about. But yeah, it's coming out July 21st. Like I said, I've never been a huge Pikmin guy, but I felt pretty good because sometimes what you start with in these type of events, like state of plays, directs, press conferences, whatever, you always want to start with something big, end with something big, have something big in the middle. And I
Right.
thought Pikmin 4 is a pretty good start to the direct. So what was your thoughts on this one?
I thought it was an excellent start to the direct indeed. I mean, first and foremost, I was not expecting them to start directly with
I see what you did there
Pikmin 4.
directly. I got that.
But at the same point, there were a lot of good key details that I thought that were pretty cool. I mean, for one, you can actually climb in regards to this game. In terms of the mechanics and stuff, there's new
Yeah.
mechanics being
Ice
introduced.
Pikmin.
Like Ice Pikmin, yeah, that was actually pretty cool. How you can showcase where you can freeze little puddles and stuff like that, and freeze enemies and do all this other stuff. I really do like how the game looks. This game actually looks fairly good, fairly
Oh yeah,
crisp.
Pikmin 3 looked fantastic. Like the
Yes,
water in that
yes,
game, it was gorgeous. Maybe the best looking water I've
especially
ever seen in a video game.
exactly. It's like it's hard to think of, but like 10 years ago, that game looked pretty fucking good on the Wii U.
Yeah.
For Switch, yes. Yes, the same thing's been held intact and stuff, and the graphical fidelity and like the smooth frame rates and everything else inside Pikmin 4 looks on
Yeah.
par. The character designs look pretty fucking good too. in regards to the whole little dog creature and stuff that you get to befriend and stuff, and it'll transport you and like it'll help you like drag certain sleeping enemies out of the way so you can get to some place. I mean, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I also like that it's in the middle of July.
Yeah, it's a good time. I mean, I think Pikmin 4 is a good summer game. Like, because if it came
Yeah,
out in the fall, it can
absolutely.
easily get buried. So coming out mid-July, perfect. Because I don't know if there's anything big coming in July.
What's hilarious about this to start it off is because Nintendo said, "Okay, this is going to be for the first half of like 2023," and automatically
First game, yeah.
first game is in July, which is technically the second half
Yeah. Well, they
of
did
the
that a
game,
couple of years.
the
Like
year.
I think when they announced Splatoon 3, they said this one's only talking about games coming out this year, and the very first thing they talked about was a game that was coming out the next year. So yeah, kind of looking at July. Yeah, there's the only other thing scheduled for July is Disney's Illusion Island, which we'll talk about later.
Yep.
So yeah, yeah. I thought pretty, like I said, pretty strong start. Yeah, strong start. Um, but yeah, like I said, I'm not a huge Pikmin fan. Those games always kind of give me anxiety when they have like the time schedule thing, and also the Pikmin die, and I don't like it. It makes me sad.
I
Um,
know the time schedule thing was prevalent inside of the first game, but I'm not sure
I
of like
think
the other corresponding
the third
games.
one I think got rid of it. I can't remember, but I remember just
I
playing it.
think the third one got rid of it.
Yeah,
I think so.
I don't know. I think I tried. I got Pikmin 3 when I got that, like when you bought Mario Kart, you got a free game thing, and that was one of the games I picked.
Yeah.
And yeah, I played it for a couple hours. I just didn't like the switch between characters thing. So um,
Remember, I like an extra vouchers or something like that. Like I gave one to you, and I also gave like one to Justin. I think
no,
I'm
you
not
gave
sure.
I bought one off of you because I bought you Skyrim for
Yes,
the Steam.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Um.
Yes, yes,
Yeah. Oh shit. All right. Well, OBS is fucking
that's right.
cranking.
You got one from Justin. You bought one from me and
Yep.
stuff, and blah blah blah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah. All right. I gotta give me a second here, Gables. I gotta fix OBS so they won't be able to hear you for a second. Why you gotta do it when the podcast? Like we've been in here for a goddamn like an hour now and just bullshitting, talking about Game Boy. Motherfucker fucks up when we start. What the hell? What's that all about, Gables?
Mhm.
All right, now they can hear you.
I don't know,
All right, well,
man.
moving on. We had Xenoblade Chronicles 3. We got some more DLC news from them. Wave 2 is out February, or Wave 3 rather is out February 15th. We're already on Wave 3. Jesus.
Yes, we
When did that
are.
come out again? Was that summer?
Yeah, it was actually released last July. I think it
Oh, was it
was.
July? Okay, I always, some reason in my head I always mix up Fire Emblem and Xenoblade. Just weeby bullshit, you know.
Yeah, they
Uh,
they generally do that with like some of their expansion passes where they just support them like the entire like just like a year
yeah,
for
yeah,
some of their RPG stuff, and this is kind of the same thing.
yeah. And we got a sneak peek at Wave 4, so I don't really think that. This is not a thing for me.
Okay, so for this one, I thought it was pretty cool because it showcases a new character. It looks like you can go and have him playable like in the middle of the game and this and that. And I, from what I could gather and stuff, there were other types of features and stuff I didn't really pick up on. But what I did pick up on was the teasing of the next wave, which
Yeah.
is Wave 4, where you generally have the protagonists of the first couple of Xenoblade games, like Shulk and Rex, from
Oh,
that
okay.
being prevalent inside there. But what's hilarious about it is I was watching a stream previously with player Essence. OJ was just commenting, man, I think it was not with Xenoblade, but it was for like for Fire Emblem Engage and stuff like that. Now that I think about it, I'll mention that a little bit later. But anyway, from the whole Wave 3, Wave 4 and stuff, I like that Wave 3 is available so soon and stuff. But man, these long ass RPGs and a lot of the other Wave stuff coming on there, I haven't even bothered like getting the expansion pack, like the expansion pass for this one. And man, I really feel like I'm going to be picking up expansion passes soon down the line
Yeah.
because these are some good stuff that they're going through and putting out.
Yeah. It looks like Wave 4 is like the big story one. They typically
Mhm.
Nintendo they put like, and not just Nintendo, but Nintendo always like the big, like when they'll have like two waves or whatever waves of paid DLC. The last ones, like the first ones are all like little minor things, and the last one is like the big, like actual like expansion to the game. So that's what it kind of looked like in that case. Next up, this one leaked before the direct, a couple hours before. Samba de Amigo, Amigo,
Mhm.
yeah, Amigo Party Central, coming this summer for 40. It's gonna be $40. Was this like an arcade game? I don't really. I don't know anything
Oh
about
yeah,
this.
Sama de Amigo. This has what's funny about this is like I literally had not heard of Sama de Amigo for quite a long time because that was an arcade game, but it also was on Dreamcast. It was one of the
Okay,
last Dreamcast
I
games,
vaguely
I
remember
think.
seeing these when I worked at a game store in like the late
The
2000s.
maracas
The
is
maracas,
what
yeah.
was the thing you had to get the most and stuff like that. But it's awesome because this really we have not had a legitimate like Sama de Amigo style game like this in literally like I kid you not, maybe over 15 some odd years
Yeah,
or 20.
yeah. And this is, I believe, a remaster, and it has online multiplayer. It looks like there's a battle royale mode in there too somewhere. I could
That's
have
interesting.
read that wrong. I don't know, but like I saw the online multiplayer it looked like a battle royale mode, but I
Huh.
can't. I heard some people say it's a new game. I heard some people say it's a remaster. I'm not 100% sure. Um,
We'll definitely look into more details about it probably another time. But at the
yeah,
same point, though, the fact remains is we're seeing a classic game being revitalized and brought out to modern day. Like, if you were keeping track at home, like through your bingo cards or whatsoever, how many of you had fucking Sama de Amigo coming back? I mean, probably not a lot of you.
no. I would have guessed Fashion Dreamer coming in this summer. It's a Switch exclusive before Samba de Amigo. Um,
Oh God.
yeah, Gable's.
You know what's funny?
Hmm.
When I saw that fashion game, I thought it was Style Suave, that old 3DS property that they literally had it like throughout the 3DS generation to where it's like a fashion type of game and you did this and did that. And so that's what I thought this current one was. But no, this is something different from level 5.
Yeah. Oh, it's a level 5 game. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad. They used to be so good. Yeah, but people concerned about not having big Switch exclusives this year. We got Fashion Dreamer coming this summer, so maybe the biggest. Um, Next up, though, we had Dead Cells Return of Castlevania,
Hmm.
coming out March 6th. This was announced back at the Game Awards. It's on my Fantasy Critic League. Um, so yeah, looks the first time we've seen gameplay though. I like I'm not a Castlevania person, but I like the way it looked. It's a good melding of Dead Cells and Castlevania. And they said that they redid some of the music that kind of meld with the Dead Cells music, which I thought was
Right.
really cool. Like I don't know the Dead Cells music, but like I like the fact they're like actually took like this feels like more than just like a cast. It's not just a Castlevania skin. It's like no, they actually built almost an entirely different game here to incorporate Dead Cells with Castlevania, and I like that a lot.
It really reminded me of when it first was revealed through the gameplay and stuff. I thought for a moment that it was a new Castlevania game, and I almost freaked out. I'm like, oh wait a minute.
Yeah,
Then I see like the protagonist of Dead Cells go over there and stuff, but it looks like a full fleshed out style of Castlevania game with Dead Cells, and that's what I loved seeing about this. You have the you had the boss characters and stuff like for Death and also for Dracula and stuff, and you have all the classic creatures and classic music stuff being remastered and stuff.
yeah,
It looked fairly good. Yeah, it looked fairly decent.
yeah. Looks really good. I hope it reviews very well because I need the points. But next up, Tron Identity coming in April. That's a Mike Bithell game. He looked very much like a Mike Bithell narrative-driven game.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, that was announced last September. That was revealed last September at the Disney D23 event, I believe is what it was. Um, so yeah, I mean,
Yep.
not my type of games, but there's definitely a huge audience for them, and typically review pretty well. Um, maybe I
Yeah,
should.
that didn't really strike any chords with me
No,
either.
it's Tron. That's a very, yeah. Mike Bithell games are very, it's a very niche audience, and Tron has also a very niche audience. So it's kind of it's maybe the nichiest of
That a niche within
audiences.
a niche.
Yes, yes, yes. It's like FromSoft making like a fucking like an Elden Ring clone or something like that. Who the fuck wants that? You know, it's fucking stupid. Um, Anyways, Ghostwire Phantom Detective coming out this summer. That is it was previously revealed I think at the last direct we had. That's a isn't someone said that's a DS game? It was a DS game?
Wait. Which one are you talking about?
Ghost
Your
Trick
Ghost
Trick Phantom
Ghost Trick.
Detective? Isn't that a Ghost Trick?
Okay, yes.
It is?
Ghost Trick was a DS game, a late DS game in that hand.
Okay.
Fun fact, that was a game I was looking forward to trying to play back then and stuff, but unfortunately, I could not ever get a hold of a copy of that thing, and it was a pain in the ass too because
Yeah.
years later, that game got super expensive to try to find because it was that niche, that style of like hard to find. And they have it on iOS. They've had the game on
Yeah, it
iOS and
came
stuff
out since
for a while.
2012. It's been on
Yes,
iOS. Yeah.
but yeah, it was a DS exclusive at the time, and it's supposed to be a fairly good game by Capcom.
Yeah. And it's coming to all the systems, by the way. So it's not just a
Good,
Switch game. So
good, good, good,
yeah.
good.
So okay, that's cool. Um, yeah, it came out 2011 though, initially on DS.
Yep.
Next game we got here was Deca Police. It's like a turn-based anime-looking game. It's come out sometime this year. No timetable other than 2023. Um, this I don't know, didn't really do much for me, but yeah, once again, I know there's probably a big audience. Like you're like a detective trying to solve crimes. It looked like you did some Tokyo drifting, which looked kind of cool. All the voice acting was Japanese though. Um, so yeah, oh, definitely not my style of game. I don't know. What about you, Gables?
Honestly, it looks pretty good, but at the same point, it's going to be in during the time where I'm probably gonna not even bother playing this game for a while because there's so many other different types of games I want to try to play, especially after this freaking direct. I mean,
Yeah,
Deca Police looks fine in my opinion.
yeah,
Everything else from the gameplay to some mechanics, and it looks fairly different than some of the other standard like Japanese like action games that I've seen.
mm,
But at the same point, this is definitely the type of game where I probably would wait for a sale. I mean, I'm not gonna
yeah,
lie, it's not something that's gonna immediately grasp me to want to go forth and play it.
yeah. It's definitely like it's no shot at Deca Police. It's a shot. I mean, it's not really a shot at anybody, but it's like in this and where we're at in the world right now with like entertainment, it's hard enough to get people's attention in entertainment, but like just as a video game alone though, just coming out looking good. Uh, I mean, it's hard enough to get eyeballs on your stuff, but like, yeah, you got not to say that this game doesn't stand out in any sort of way, but man, it's like yeah, it's one of those games where it's like I don't know, like I don't know how what's gonna do, but like, sometimes just being a good game isn't enough anymore. So because if this game would have came out on the GameCube or something, and that generation, this game would probably been a lot bigger, a lot have a lot more eyeballs on it. But anyways, with Bayonetta Origins, their trailer for that one coming March 17th. Um, I, I don't know how I feel about this game, Gables. I think part of it too is Bayonetta 3. I think was just kind of a disappointment for me. I think a disappointment for a lot of people, and I feel like coming off of that and then going to this, I think a lot of people were just kind of, and also it's just a totally different style of game. Um, yeah, I don't, and I guess they had like a little demo type of thing almost in Bayonetta 3 if you like 100% of it.
Hmm.
But uh, yeah, I just, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I just kind of lukewarm on this one. Like I really feel like reviews got to be outstanding. I think for really this game to like have like a decent shot at becoming something, become really big. And the fact that $60 also kind of hurts too. So that's kind of a tough sell for a lot of people, I think too.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a tough sell with people because they're more accustomed to Bayonetta being like an action game and stuff, and so the spin-off game, it's definitely something vastly different because it's more like a stylized sort of adventure game,
Yeah,
really. Because
you don't battle.
you don't do like a battles in the traditional sense. You're basically going through trying to save your mom and stuff, and using one of the demons that you find right there, the Cheshire. And it's kind of funny, a little to kick back a little bit to Bayonetta 3 and stuff. That game actually sold over 1 million copies, apparently.
Yeah, yeah. It's I don't. I don't know how well I think the Bayonetta 1 and 2 bundle on Switch sold about that much, but I think it's definitely the best start ever for probably a Bayonetta game. I don't know
That's
how.
very true.
So
But as for Cereza and stuff, I mean, this game is going to be all right. I feel it's going
yeah,
to probably be in the middle sevens, maybe early eights or something like that. But I don't really see, I don't really see a lot of people wanting to go through and play this game. I actually do see a lot of people probably being disappointed in it because of it not being as fleshed out in some parts, maybe. But at the same point, it looks like a fun game. But it's another one of those games where wait on a sale.
yeah, yeah. Fortunately, though, it's a Nintendo game, so sales don't happen very often for those.
It depends,
Yeah.
really. But yeah, I understand what you're saying.
In 2029, it'll be $57. Um, Next up here, we got Splatoon 3. They announced the expansion pack, paid DLC. Maybe my favorite paid DLC ever. It broke my brain, Gables. Wave 1's coming in spring.
Yeah.
You in Wave One you get Inkopolis, the hub
Yep.
world from Splatoon One.
Yeah, you get the hub world from Splatoon 1 plus like oh god. Yeah, there's a couple other things you can go forth and visit classic characters and like lots of things. But other than that though, that's wave 1. I was more interested in wave 2
Yeah, side order.
because they teased the story content being side order, which you know what, that wave 2, I would doubt that thing's going to be coming in the later half of this year. I mean, I think it probably is going to be like this time, maybe next year, that we're probably going to get the wave 2
I could see
personally.
them pushing it to like maybe September, get a full year of it. But they did announce that they're going to do 2 years of support for this thing. So, but
That's true.
whatever 2 years of support actually means. So, I don't know.
And this game released in October
September,
of
September
September of
9th
last year.
is early September.
So that means by 2024
Yeah.
they would have to have that thing. So yeah, I could see them potentially like
Well, I mean, they can always like do like I mean, they did like expansion stuff for two, and then like a year
yeah.
later announced like the whole extra campaign thing. So,
Yeah, I
uh,
don't really see them like having like say a second expansion pass after this. I mean, I think it's just going to be the one expansion pass and then just have incremental updates to like
yeah,
the online personally.
yeah. They did say that's coming out. This Wave 2 is coming this year. I can't believe they are charging money for a hub world. Blew my goddamn mind. Um,
It's basically like a teaser for like
yeah,
wave
I
2.
mean,
That's what exactly what it is. Sounds
it's
like
like
to me.
I know like it's like I said over and over again. Like like whenever they do this, like there's like the two wave thing. It's like wave one is like usually minuscule stuff. It's like hey, here's some
Yep.
extra characters, or here's maybe like here's a trial mode or something like that. But it's like fuck, man, really? You're gonna charge me to be able to just walk around this world that has the same stores that
You know what they could have done instead of like just having to walk around the hub world, they could have just added the first game in the expansion.
yeah, I mean, well, Gables, I mean, Splatoon 3 is just an expansion of Splatoon 2
I
and 1,
know, I
so
know.
I mean, they're
I
all
know.
expansions of
If
each
we
other.
really wanted if we really
Yeah,
wanted to experience the original Splatoon, I mean, just do a Splatoon single player damn thing
yeah. I was
separate.
like, give me some like exclusive gear that's only in the Wave 1 or something. Jesus Christ, like,
Yeah.
yeah,
You know, that would have been a fun
yeah.
change of pace too.
I mean, I know it's Nintendo bullshit, but geez, this might be like this is going in like the upper tier Nintendo bullshit right here. Uh,
Yeah, I can see why, man. I mean, I agree with you there where just paying money just to walk on
yeah,
the first game's hub world,
yeah.
that's yeah. That's a
Jesus,
different type of thing entirely.
Jesus Christ. Next up here, Disney Illusion Island coming out July 28th. That game looks. I said like this was also announced at the D23 thing back in December. I think the
Mm.
game looks really cool, and like I'd like to actually play that game because it looks like it gives me very much like Rayman vibes. Um,
Hmm.
but man, it's exclusive to Switch, and that just kind of sucks because I would like playing online multiplayer to be kind of fun, but oof.
Yeah, good luck finding another person you want to play that with.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like
Which I agree with you, Tyler. It does look fairly good, and the whole like nods to say Rayman or like a Cuphead side of style and stuff. Yeah, that's really cool. It's really eye catching. At the same point, though, I mean, this is not going to be one of those games that people are probably going to be really focusing on towards the middle of July. I
yeah.
mean, fuck,
I
dude.
mean, like I said, July is kind of it's pretty empty right now. But I mean, it's only
Yeah,
when we're not even mid February yet. So
yeah. Wait till June.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, the week before that you got Pikmin 4, but I don't know. I just God damn it,
I know, right?
damn it. They got why you gotta put the cool like third party stuff on your system. Um, moving on here, we got some Fire Emblem DLC.
Hmm.
Wave 2 has Hector, Soren, and Camila. What's up, girl? That is out today. Gables, I need you to take a lot of
Hmm.
screenshots of her and send them to me, please. Um, uh,
Oh yes, Camilla. Yeah, I remember.
appreciate you do
Okay,
that for me.
so
Okay, go
what was
ahead.
showcased inside of this whole expansion thing for Fire Emblem Engage, we had a couple different like a couple different characters to showcase that you get to collect inside the game and stuff. One of them being Hector from one of the other Fire Emblem games and stuff. Soren, which is a character I remember from Path of Radiance. That's the game on GameCube. Camilla is actually from Fire Emblem Fates Conquest, which that was on
Okay,
3DS.
are these all original characters? Like, these are all like characters brought back?
These are all characters that were brought back
Gotcha.
from
Okay.
previous games. So they either were a part of parties or like they were protagonists in the original games.
Okay. So you're telling me there's more places I could see Camilla at then?
Yeah,
All right, cool.
on the 3DS.
Oh fuck. All right. Right.
And then Fire Emblem Warriors.
I'm gonna have to go and I'm gonna have to, after this is over, I have to go on Google and learn how to download games, um, so I can play this.
But what's funny about this is like you had a couple different like characters. A couple of different like familiar characters and stuff from past Fire Emblem games, like from Fates and also from Fire Emblem Awakening. You got Chrom and Robin as a
Yeah,
duo
that's
instead
wave
of that
three.
too. I like that. That's fairly fun to know that. In regards to the story element for like the next portion of it, I actually feel like that it's just entirely crazy that Nintendo actually went and teased the a story aspect, the additional story thing for
Fell
that
Xenolog.
the Xenologue, yeah, the
Yeah,
Fell Xenologue, so soon after releasing Engage, even though now that I think about it, Engage had been finished for like a full year and stuff like that,
yeah.
apparently.
I wouldn't be shocked if
But
this DLC's been done for about a full year either. So just waiting to put it
to
out.
quote like Player Essence and stuff like that, it's like man, I haven't even finished with the main game yet.
Yeah, they're adding character like because
And they're
Wave
adding
Two's out
another
today.
story. Yeah, Wave 2 was
Wait,
out today.
so wait a second. Wave Two's out today. The game came out like 3 weeks ago. Did Wave One come out? When did Wave One come out?
I think it came out like I thought it during like the same week that it launched. I thought
This
maybe
is Jesus Christ. What is this like Street Fighter? Was it Street Fighter 4 when all the players on the disc, the DLC characters on the disc? Jesus,
I have no clue, Tyler.
just paying to
And
unlock
like you
them.
and like we were just mentioning before, I mean, the game had been in develop had already been finished for well over a year, so of
Yeah,
course the freaking
yeah.
battle like
This game,
expansion content is
this
going.
game leaked last spring, and yeah, it was said to be it been done for over a year at that point. So this game's probably been done close to 2 years. So yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if all this DLC is just done. Like they're probably midway through development of the next Fire Emblem game. it's like oh, wait, like oh, we haven't put out like they're
Oh.
almost done with the next Fire Emblem games. Like we haven't put out Wave 4 for the last one, really? What are we doing? What's going on with that?
But yeah, there was a lot of fun, exciting stuff about Fire Emblem Engage, for to look forward to. As a matter of fact, so far from what we've talked about, it's like you have three major Nintendo games with expansion passes that actually look like they're going to be potentially awesome.
Yeah,
Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Splatoon 3 with its whole like side order like expansion and stuff, and then you have Fire Emblem Engage with a Fell
Xenolog.
Xenologue. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was thinking Xenophage.
It's
It was
it's, it's throwing me
freaking
off
Mass
because it was
Effect shit.
Xenoblade and everything. Like, I don't know. Like, what are we doing here? I thought like at first I thought it was like a crossover with Xenoblade. I was like, okay, that's weird, but it's DLC. We can do
I could
that.
see why you think that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean it's like we got like Xenoblade, Xena, the warrior, whatever from the like the old TNT TV show from like the 80s.
Warrior
Um,
Princess,
Warrior Princess. That's what it. Yeah. Um,
'90s Lucy Lawless.
yes. Thank you. Um, yeah, not a lot of Xenas out there. Next up here, we had Harmony, the Fall of Revenir. I can't remember what the last word was. I can't read it either. But this is actually a Don't Nod game, so it instantly got my attention. They made the original
Mm.
Life is Strange and Life is Strange 2. They did like
Mm-hmm.
Vampire, and they've done a couple other games too that like Twin Mirror. They've been hit and miss outside of Life is Strange 1. Um, but yeah, I mean, the thing, it's like a narrative driven game. Looked fine. Like, well, look good. Like, I'm interested just because it's Don't Nod. I have faith in them. I'm not like a huge narrative, like, not a narrative in that way when there's like no actual gameplay, just looking at characters and like talking back and forth. Like, that's not really my thing. Um, but the fact they have Lena Rain, I believe is her name. She
Mm-hmm.
does the music from Celeste.
Right.
It's coming in June. I'm gonna buy it just because the fact that it's Donut and Lena Rain together making a game. Fuck yeah, I am all aboard that. I will support that woman wherever she goes. So yeah, I don't know. I'm interested in for that. Next up here, Octopath Traveler 2 has a demo out today. That game's coming out, I believe, February 24th. It's coming to everything, but
Yes.
the demo is exclusive on Switch. So and
Man, I'll
everything you
tell you
do
what.
carries over. I forgot to mention that too.
Man, I'll tell you what, man. Octopath Traveler 2. Octopath Traveler 2 actually looks like it's going to be fairly good as well. I mean, I like the fact that they brought back the option to have a playable demo for the Switch version because I know the original had that, and I know that another game that was by Square Enix kind of like had that as well. I think the most recent one was the whole bar line stuff for Final Fantasy Theater Rhythm, Final Fantasy bar line.
Yeah,
But for Xenoblade, no, for Octopath Traveler 2, yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what type of improvements that they've worked into for this over the previous game. Because I think I only played the previous game for a little bit because of the demo from that.
Okay. Um, Next up here, Gables. I mentioned the top. Gingers, Amish people, I hate the most. Next thing I hate more than I hate probably actually more than gingers and Amish people, Katamari fans. I have an extreme hate for Katamari. Had an old boss, my first job, that would never shut the fuck up about Katamari. She made me play it once. She like at work one time. Um,
What?
I was only
Okay.
making minimum wage, and I felt like it was like I should have like called HR. Even though I was not actually working, but she forced me to play Katamari for an hour. And then like we had like a demo unit for with the PS2 setup, and she would just like put the game in the PS2 and just let the game sit on the main screen and just play the theme over and over again for hours.
Katamari Damashi.
Shut the fuck up, Gables. Uh, I will end this podcast. I will fly to your house, and I will
It's
end you.
funny, dude. It's funny. I've never played the game, but I remember the theme song going on loop.
I fucking hate it with every fiber of my goddamn being. Oh my god. But that apparently we're getting like a remaster of that, but I don't want to talk about it anymore because I feel my blood boiling. Sea of Stars, Gables. Let's talk about some good shit here. Sea of
Oh yeah,
Stars out August 29th. Free demo out today on the Switch. So
that is surprising to me.
yeah,
I mean,
it's
I
a
was not
long ways out.
expecting this. I know, man. August, a long ways out, but it's gonna be fucking worth it. This game looks like it's going to be an incredible game. Freaking psyched to try out the demo. Want to see how the combat works with this. It definitely has that retro look upon it, which kind of reminds me of classic RPGs, like say a Chrono Trigger or a like Grandia or like those types of classic JRPGs from back when the Super Nintendo PS1 generations. The music is what I'm interested in hearing the most in regards to this game because I want to hear the orchestral scores and stuff from the same composer that composed Chrono Trigger and stuff and like all the other stuff going. I mean, I got a lot of high hopes for this game.
Yeah. Uh, it's one of those games where I like looking at it. It's much like the like Octopath and like Live Alive, Live Alive, Live
Yeah.
Live, whatever the fuck's called. I like looking at those games. I don't necessarily like playing those games. Sea of Stars definitely is in that category. I guess it's a free demo. Might as well fucking check it out. But
Mm.
I don't have anything else better to do other than play Forspoken. So um, might as well. But next up here we have a free to play game called Omega Strikers. It is an air hockey looking game. It's like 3v3 online game. Um, the game is coming out later this year. But Gables, you
Mm.
can pre-order this free to play game today.
That doesn't make any freaking
I
sense.
know.
Why would we be able to pre-order a free-to-play game for God's sake? There's no money involved.
Yeah, I want to know how much I'm gonna pay to put a pre-order down at GameStop.
You just go to your local GameStop like, "Hey,
Mega
I want to
Strikers.
pre-order Mega Strikers."
Yeah.
And like all of a sudden they just looks like and they just go through, they look on the computer, it's like, "Sir, you do realize this is a free game, right?" Like, "I want to pre-order it." It's like,
Yeah. It's like
"Okay. Well,
$5, right?
okay,
Guy's like, yes, cash only though. Uh, yeah,
cash only," and all of a sudden you just see the grimace and stuff, like the little smile on his face when you walk out of the store, like, I just made $5.
yeah. I'm gonna buy a Big Mac after this motherfucker. Yeah, it's a free to. I'm not trying to talk shit about this game. It looks like the game looks fun, looks good. But it is a free to play game on the Switch.
And yeah,
Yeah,
unfortunately, it's not something that really would tickle my fancy either. I
yeah,
mean, 3v3 stuff is fine, competitive games are fine, but it's gonna have to take something with a good hook to it in order for me to play it online.
yeah. But especially on Switch. So uh,
Yeah.
maybe it's coming to other stuff, but I mean, so far all I've seen is Switch. So, but hey, it got to be on a direct. Got a moment to shine. So maybe it'll give it a nice boost when does come out. Next up, though, we had Etrian Odyssey collection coming out June 1st. It's gonna have 1, 2, and 3, but those are all sold separately. So um,
Oh man, let me tell you something. Etrian Odyssey 1, 2, and 3. The original was on DS, I believe, and then the subsequent sequels of it came to the 3DS. These games are dungeon crawlers. They are fairly hardcore in regards to a lot of stuff you got to manage inside of these games. I'm fairly happy for like the Etrian audience. Odyssey fan base because some of those games, especially the ones on the DS, are so freaking expensive. I mean, trying to find or to rebuy some of those games, like on the older systems, I mean, yeah, it's out of the price range for some people. But it's funny to me that these games are coming out because these were a few of the games that people loved playing on the 3DS, and with the 3DS eShop and the 3DS and the Wii U eShops like closing down like next month, like on the 27th, I want to say, or the 29th. A lot of the games that we see showcased right here and like certain aspects and stuff that we saw this direct are they're coming onto the Switch as a result of both of those services closing down. It feels like because it's definitely that type of thing to like make people ignore. Oh, hey, let this is going to be closing down though, but some of those best games from this system is coming onto here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm super happy.
Yeah, and like I said, it's good that like these games that are gonna kind of be lost forever here shortly, get a chance to kind of still exist somewhere else. So,
Yeah.
and probably to a bigger audience, especially with getting that direct shine. Next up though, game I've been looking
Mhm.
forward to. Literally had it paid off for 2.5 years now. By the time this game releases, I've had it paid off for 3 years now. Um, April 21st, Advance Wars Reboot Camp coming out.
Mhm.
Um, no gameplay, anything like that, but I mean, it's Advance Wars. It's kind of one of those weird games to show off. Probably, don't want to show off, I guess, tanks blowing up shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I just need Russia to chill the fuck out for like the next 10 weeks so I can just finally buy this fucking game. If we can all just be cool, can everybody just agree to like calm the fuck down? Please, because I need everybody to be cool. Ukraine, North Korea, Russia, China, United States, Canada. In Canada, you're cool. I don't want to throw Canada in this bundle. Everybody, calm the fuck down. I just want my goddamn Advance Wars. I I'm so tired of waiting. It's been 3 goddamn years, Gables. But it's finally happening. Um,
It's gonna be like Eric Cartman like freezing himself for the Nintendo Wii.
I will. I fucking will, Gables. Uh, every time we go on this podcast, it'll just be you talking and like I'll be frozen in carbonite back here on camera. Uh,
And you just have like you just like in his face like
yeah, and like
like Han Solo, only just a little bit more like distorted looking with your Hawkeye's hat.
yeah. Problem is though, like I tell Gables to like unfreeze me though when a game comes out, he'll just forget, and then I'll just be like, I'll probably come out and it's like, I'm like, it's like, what year is it? It's like 3092. Sun has melted the planet. I'm still here. Um, just me and the polar bears. Um, moving on. But seriously, everybody calm the fuck down. Uh, moving on though. Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe. We've already known about that game coming out at the end of the month. They did announce this. They did accidentally leak this themselves though, like a week or two ago. That there's like an epilogue coming after you beat the game. There's some extra levels you can do, and the demo is out today. So
Yeah. If there's one recurring theme inside this direct, there's a lot of
yeah,
demos.
just a lot of shit to play today. they,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe not full on games, but there's a lot of backlog, older stuff and
It feels like
demos.
I'm it feels like I'm playing games like 15, 20 years ago where there's like demo discs and like
Yeah,
demo here, demo there. It's like, oh, I get to play this now.
yeah. The only thing I need to do is go to Pizza Hut and like get a demo disc now. With
Yeah.
that
The only thing
PlayStation
that's
Underground.
missing, I know, man. It's like the only thing that's missing for me is like getting a copy of Game Pro or getting a copy of EGM and they have the fucking demo discs on the damn
Yeah.
freaking like stuff.
Like you have to go. You still have to go up and buy a copy of Zone of the Enders to play these demos. It's a Metal Gear Solid 2 joke for people that aren't
Oh
30.
my god. That's
Uh,
right.
yeah.
Oh.
Gable, I remember when I got my PS2, my dad's like, we can buy a memory card, or we can buy you Zone of the Enders. And I was like, oh, I want to play Zone of the Enders. I want Zone of the Enders. And my dad's like, that's weird. Okay, never played that game. I played that demo like 6,000 times. So
Yeah, that sounds like the Tyler I know.
yeah, yeah. I don't. Yeah, I literally never put that disc in the fucking PlayStation. I just played the fuck out of that. I think we ended up like trading it in immediately, and I just kept the demo disc. Um, but yeah. uh,
Oh,
I
that's
probably
funny.
played
Save the
more hours of
games
Metal
or
Gear
play a
Solid 2.
demo.
Yeah, I probably played more hours of Metal Gear Solid 2, the demo disc, than any other game combined. Um,
Oh god. Yeah.
moving on though, Game Boy games. Kind of. This is when the direct got good.
Mm-hmm.
Game Boy games. Uh, we got was announced coming to the Nintendo Online system. We got Mario Land 2, Tetris, Link's Awakening, Gargoyle's Quest, everybody's favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Game and Watch Gallery 3, everybody's other favorite, Alone in the Dark, Metroid 2, Wario Land 3, and Kirby's Dream Land all out today. They did also say that Zelda Oracle of Seasons and Ages, Pokemon Trading Card Game, the game I've been. The fuck was that? Sorry. A lot of banging upstairs. Scared the shit out of me. Pokemon Trading Card Game, the game I've been asking for ever now, so I could actually legally play that game. And Kirby Tilt and Tumble are all coming later. Um, Also, they announced GBA games coming to the Nintendo expansion pack. Those include Minish Cap, Zelda Minish Cap,
Mm-hmm.
Super Mario Brothers 4, Super Mario Brothers 3.
Yep.
Stupidest thing they ever
Yeah.
did.
It's
Uh,
because Super Mario Advance launched and it was just Mario 2.
what?
Yeah, yeah. When the Game Boy Advance first launched, one of the first Mario games released back in 2001 was Super Mario Advance, which was basically a redone version of Super Mario Brothers 2.
I didn't realize they started at 2.
Yes, they
So
did.
what was Super Mario Advance 2?
Super Mario Advance 2 was Super Mario World. And then the third one was Yoshi's Island, and then the fourth one was Super Mario Brothers 3. I know. I know.
So
That was the confusion that I had as a kid, that as a teenager growing up too.
so Gables, you're telling me Super Mario Advance 5 was Super Mario World?
Oh no, not 5. Super Mario World was Super Mario Advance 2.
Okay, so 2 was 1, World was 2, 3 was
hmm
4, Yoshi's Island
hmm
was 3.
Yep.
What was the original Mario Brothers on this game, the goddamn thing, or no?
No, 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 no. The original Mario Brothers was not remade in any sense with the Game Boy Advance graphics or anything like that.
Okay, so whatever. All right, all right. God damn it, this fucking company. I hate them so fucking much. Uh, next up, WarioWare Inc. Uh, Game of the Year contender, Kurian. Never before released here in the United States. Mario Kart Super Circuit, the worst Mario Kart game, and Mario Luigi Superstar Saga are out today. Coming soon, though they didn't announce Metroid Fusion, Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, Fire Emblem, F Zero, Golden Sun, all coming later.
Oh my gosh, dude, this was a lot to unpack though. When I was at work going through doing price tags and stuff, and all of a sudden I see Game Boy like I had to literally keep myself from freaking trying to scream. Like, oh, it's that moment and stuff where you're like in a workplace with people. All of a sudden, you see something that just makes you very excited or something like that. And you just have to hold it like,
Yeah, it's like you got to
I
fart
did
when you're
that
in public.
twice. I did that twice throughout this direct. One was with the Game Boy stuff, and then the other one was when the Game Boy Advance stuff. I'm
Yeah,
like,
like fuck yeah,
I know.
running through the store.
I literally had to keep myself from saying stuff like that when my boss is on the phone, like stuff like that.
Oh man, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that wasn't intended. But anyway, when when it came to the selection of the Game Boy and Game Boy Color games, I thought it was incredibly hilarious that they started off like not just with Mario 2 though, but the selection of the games are really funny. Like Game & Watch 3, and then the most hilarious one and the most odd thing that made everybody else go, "What the fuck?" was Alone in the Dark. I mean, Alone in the Dark is one of the worst Game Boy
Yeah,
games.
the- I wonder if like Konami paid them to put it on the surface.
That
I,
could have been the case.
yeah, it's the only other thing that makes sense to me. Yeah,
Then,
I got really excited, then immediately started losing all hope in humanity when they got to the back to back of what was it? Mario. Oh no, sorry, I lost it because they back to back. Where's Game Boy Advance? Oh, up here.
it was the back to back was like
It was
Game & Watch Gallery
Gargoyles
3.
like, Quest Game and Watch Gallery 3 and Alone in the Dark. I'm like,
Gargoyle's Quest is supposed to be a pretty good, excellent game. Honestly, it's the sequel to
sure it
the
was 30 years ago.
Gargoyle's Quest 2 was like the sequel to the original one, which was on NES. But what's hilarious is both of those were late releases for their respective systems, like Gargoyle's Quest for the NES and then the sequel for the Game Boy. And this is like during around the time of like the Super Nintendo game with Demon's Crest.
Hmm.
So all those games are interconnected to each other with Firebrand. That's the name of the character, the gargoyle.
Okay.
He's one of the bosses you face in the original like ghouls and ghosts. But in regards to the Game Boy Advance stuff, I mean, oh man, the Game Boy Advance stuff actually kind of hit it pretty good because you got Mario Kart, you got Zelda, you got freaking Super Mario Bros. 3, Super Mario Advance 4, and like all the
You just like
like the
you like punch
e-reader
me in the
stuff.
kidney with that one, Gables. What
I
the-
know, right? I know, right? I mean, that's pretty hilarious in and of itself. So
I-
it's like,
oh,
when it comes to that version of Mario Bros. 3, it's that one is considered by plenty of people to be the de facto version of that game, only because it includes every single level that was put out by like the e-reader cards
Yep.
from back then. You literally had to buy, and this is something that some of you guys had to keep in mind listening in or watching in. Back in the day, around towards like the middle of the 2000s, Nintendo had you purchase an individual device to scan cards in order to add levels to a Mario game. That was something that happened. The e-reader was supposed to be a device to where they were trying to spin it off as its own thing. It was an accessory to where you could use different types of like cards and stuff, like different types of power-ups for like say with Mario games. You could actually play certain arcade games with these scannable cards like Donkey Kong and like Donkey Kong Jr. and that stuff. It's kind of fascinating to look back in retrospect, and so people that are interested definitely look at a couple of YouTube videos on it. I mean, it's fairly cool in
yeah.
terms of what they went through. And fun fact, some of the rarest e-reader cards have to do with Pokemon related stuff, and especially the Eon ticket. Pick up Latios and Latios. I still have that thing unwrapped still somewhere.
Jesus. I
But yeah.
I was fun fact, Gables. I was one of like the 6 people in the world that bought the e-reader. Um, I remember I actually had enough. I traded a bunch of games in. I had enough money to buy a used PS2.
Uh-huh.
But instead, I decided to buy an e-reader and all the cards, and a couple other games too. And I came home, and my dad was so upset I started crying because I bought the e-reader instead of a PS2. He's like,
Your dad got upset with you.
yeah, um, yeah. So it was a very upsetting day. And then also when I played the e-reader, and I'm like, it was like it was also a double kick in the nuts. Between I could have had a PS2, but I bought the stupid fucking e-reader instead.
Oh my gosh. I think what's really interesting about this whole Game Boy Advance selection, there's 6 games to start off with, right? One of which I could guarantee that probably a lot of people have never played. It's called Kuru Kuru Kururin. That one is like a
That was hot.
bar.
Can you do it again?
It's basically sort of like a freaking
He's
bird.
not
You're
gonna
like
do it again.
Kuru Kuru Kururin. You know,
Oh, I like when you
it's
roll the R's.
that's exactly what it's supposed to sound like too when you read it off too. It's
I can't read. I
hilarious.
can't roll my goddamn R's. Gibbles, leave me alone. I got a little bit.
You gotta it gotta sound like a freaking
Currine. Got it. Got it. I can do the shit. Fuck you, Gables. Make
well
fun of me.
hell. The only reason why I could do that is as a kid I used to like kind of like mock
Cunnilingus.
like no, I used to kind of mock the sound of like freaking birds and crows and stuff. So it's like go but yeah, that game looks fairly interesting. Like because you have to move the whole bar and stuff and keep it from touching the certain sides of the courses and stuff. But I'm most looking forward to the games that are going to be released in the Game Boy Advance portion of it because you got Metroid Fusion, you got Fire Emblem, you got Fire no yeah Fire Emblem, F-Zero, Golden Sun. I mean, for God's sake, that is a solid lineup of Game Boy Advance stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I can't. I'm excited. Golden Sun was like one of my favorite JRPGs growing up back in the day, so I would definitely be excited to
Mhm.
give that a shot. I guess I don't. I don't. Wait, that's only that Game Boy Advance. I don't have. God damn, I'm gonna buy the fucking expansion pack. I will say I've been giving them props. I'm saying it's becoming a better and better deal. I ragged on a lot when they first initially launched it, but they've been doing a good job adding cool little things to it. It's not exactly the best deal in gaming yet. Which Gables, what's the best deal in gaming?
Oh, that's Xbox Game Pass.
You're goddamn right. Justin's favorite service in the whole wide world, Game Pass. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think, like I said, it's a solid lineup. You know, Mario Luigi Superstar Saga. It's like a lot of people's favorite Mario
Oh
Luigi
yeah,
game.
that's awesome too.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
oh
I
my
said, though, it
god.
kind of devalues it when you put Mario Kart Super Circuit in there, though. I mean, at worst, it's bottom two up there with Mario Kart 7 on 3DS. Uh, but Gables, no, it isn't bottom two. Metroid
What?
Prime. Metroid Prime Remaster. Gables. Uh,
Hmm.
it is out today. And also
Yes.
physically, you can get it February 22nd. $40, shockingly. I thought for sure they would charge full price $60 for this thing. So cool. It looks like it's actually really well made. Um, like I said, it's out today, $40. Back then, I wasn't huge into first-person shooter games, but back then,
Hmm.
first-person shooter games didn't really work very well on consoles.
No.
So I'm excited to I went ahead and bought it, and I am excited to give it a fair shot. You know, I don't have anything else better going on other than um, Gables. I don't know about
Mm.
you. I'm looking at this Forspoken here. I'm starting to think maybe you're fucked. So I don't know if
I
I'm.
love how he just tosses the toss the case at it. It's like, where did it go now?
Yeah, fuck that. Gonna break it? Nope. Okay, cool. I've chucked that thing like 3 times now on content. um,
Oh,
but yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to play it. And it looks gorgeous. So also helps that
absolutely.
games like that actually manage to like they age pretty well. You know, Nintendo games do. So what were your thoughts on this one?
My thoughts on this one was like a lot of surprise. I mean, for one, they actually went through and announced it first and foremost. Second was how great it looks. I mean, it is definitely look like a modern game. It looks like a modern game. They actually have a control scheme of like a
Mm-hmm.
freaking modern game with the dual sticks.
It
I mean, for God's sake, no more C stick to try to move the freaking visors and stuff like that, because that's
yeah.
what you did back in the day. You want to know how you move Samus Aran's like freaking like hand cannon? You had to hold the R button in order to try to, and with
Oh,
the analog stick in order to try to aim certain things. So that,
this
uh,
podcast talk between the Super Mario Advance 4 and you just pointing that out is giving me crones. Uh, this this
but
this is painful.
that's what Nintendo fans had to put up with back in the day before modern first person shooters got streamlined by
Yeah.
fucking Gears of War.
Well, Halo. Uh,
Halo and Gears of War.
yeah,
Let's just be perfectly honest. Those two
yeah,
interconnected with each other.
yeah. The Xbox is
But
great, just like Game Pass. Uh,
oh boy. But let me tell you something though. I really love the fact that I actually thought this was going to be a full $60 release. Like a full $60 release, but it's $40.
mm,
It looks awesome. It looks like they put a lot of good time and effort into this and not like a just just ported certain aspects of it and just do barely shit with it.
yeah,
It's actually much more intricate than that. And quite honestly, I'm fairly interested in trying it. I
yeah,
mean, God, this could be the definitive version of freaking Metroid Prime.
yeah. I mean, what's interesting though, it looks like it's the Wii one they upres, which I guess makes sense because that game was already upres. Because they do have like the pointer stuff. You can use
Hmm.
the what the fuck are the thing is called? Joy-Cons?
Nunchucks.
Yeah, Joy-Cons. Is that what they're called? None.
Oh,
Yeah,
for the Switch version,
yeah,
yeah, you're using the Joy Cons and
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like that to do
yeah.
that stuff.
But
Yeah.
they basically, yeah, they have the Wii motion stuff from the shitty Wii. So but yeah, I'm excited to play it. I'm excited to check it out. Yeah, like I said, if you want to get the physical version, that's also $40. It's coming out the 22nd. So next up here, though, we had Danganronpa people are making the
Hmm.
game called Rain Code. It's coming out June 30th. We've known about this. They announced at the last direct. Not a me game, but it looks like Danganronpa. It just doesn't have the name in the title. So I know you're the Danganronpa
I'm
guy
pretty
though.
much I'm pretty much waiting for reviews in this game because, quite honestly, after what I had witnessed leading up to that point, it's like I did not really care much at all when this game was showcased to me again. I mean, it was cool when we saw the reveal trailer for this game, but at the same point, it's definitely like I said before in the past couple of games throughout this direct. It's like it's gonna be one of those wait and see sort of games or wait
Yeah,
for a sale.
yeah. And yeah, June kind of rough time to put a game out. So Street Fighter 6,
Hmm.
Diablo
Street Fighter
4,
Six.
Final Fantasy 16. So
Mm.
it's gonna be it's a rough month.
I'm fucking laughing because now it's like fucking Street Fighter 6 to start off, and then Final Fantasy 16 in the
To
middle of
cap
the
it
month.
off. Yeah.
Like, polar opposites.
Yeah. Yeah. Tough floating on that one. But it does just barely meet the first half of the year threshold there. Just barely. Next up here, Biting.
Batten Kaitos.
But whatever. Yeah, 1 and 2 remastered coming this summer. I remember like seeing like the cover of this game all the time when I used to work at a video game store way back in the 2000s.
Mm.
I never knew what the fuck this game was. The gameplay we got of this at the direct is the first time I've actually ever seen like actual screenshots or gameplay of this fucking game.
Okay,
That's
so
like that's
I could say a little bit about Batten Kaitos. I played a little bit of it back in the day. Batten Kaitos Origins, the prequel to the original release and stuff I played a little bit of. It's more or less sort of like an RPG where you have like a card-based sort of combat thing to where you use specific cards you draw from your deck in order to power up your team or like to use like recovery stuff or it's a little bit more intricate and from what they showed inside the direct it looks like they have mainlined fixed a couple different issues that the original releases have had. It looks fairly good, honestly. It definitely was one of those underrated classics back on the GameCube because the original release came out. It came out to sort of like middling reviews back around 2003 or something like that from like game publishers and other type of major gaming websites from back then.
mm,
But it pretty much got like a cult classic sort of status and stuff. And then its later release in 2005 that was kind of thought it's like okay this is a better game than the original but it was also one of those ones that it was close to the end of the GameCube's life cycle where not a lot of people were really into the later years of the GameCube before the Wii because you had games like say like Chibi Robo and like this and that like just those twilight years of the GameCube before ironically enough Twilight Princess ended up coming
I
out
totally forgot
of one
about
of the
Chibi
last.
Robo. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that was one of those games where
Ugh.
when that was announced and stuff, people were kind of like, okay, what is this? This is entirely different. It's like a new IP from Nintendo, but it's like it never really caught on.
That's one of those games where like I remember like the rare case for Nintendo Power gave it like a Nintendo game a 7 out of 10 or something like that. It was like,
Yeah,
oh, that's bad. It's like when Nintendo Power is giving it a middling review, that game might not be
I
good.
remember that too because I read those issues back then.
Yeah.
But going back to Batten Kaitos here, I'm very happy that this game is coming out, especially the collection things. They just decided to have it bundled one into. Love the idea that we're going to be getting it inside the summer. I mean, that's definitely a good plus. Plus, a lot of the fans that were waiting upon something like this to happen over the past 20 years, I mean, I'm more happier for them because now they get to experience it on the Switch. Now they get to experience that on top of all this other stuff that was announced previously. And it just feels like this whole direct was all over the place to start off with, and then getting close towards the last 10 to 15 minutes, it started to aim more towards the more in-depth, hardcore Nintendo fan that has been around for the past for like literally since like the over 20 years.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah. Moving on though. Fantasy Life I, the girl who steals time. Not shockingly not a Square Enix game based off that title.
No.
Coming in 2023. Uh, this game terrifies me. It looks like a Animal Crossing style JRPG, like RPG
Yeah,
game.
it's a
Oh,
JRPG with certain farming mechanics with it. There was a
they
game
gotta get one in
release
there, those
on
bastards.
the 3DS. Yeah, Fantasy Life was a pretty good game on the 3DS when that came out. Never tried it, didn't have too much interest in it. But it's interesting to see that another game in the series is actually coming out on the Switch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm just morally against that game. Just looking at it, and also the title, Fantasy Life I. Get the fuck out of here. Who the fuck do you think you are? These people got something to prove, and I don't like it. I don't trust them. I think the Amish made this game. Next up,
The
uh,
Amish made a fantasy farming game.
yeah, that's all they know. It's all they know: fantasy and farming.
They had to use rocks and sticks in order to power on to make the game.
I've seen some. Some of them got 4 wheelers. Okay, they have shit. Um, moving on though, before I offend any Amish people in this podcast. I'm kidding.
They
They're
had to use the telegram in
yeah,
order to power on
yeah,
their
yeah.
workstations.
When they progress enough that they get internet in 2077, they'll finally be like, "Ooh, that motherfucker."
Oh,
I'll be long dead by then, hopefully.
oh.
Next up, I'm sorry, I'm just ragging on Amish people for no reason. I'll start making fun of ginger people next, sorry. Or I'll go back to make fun of Katamari people. Um,
Oh, oh.
Next up, Professor Layton, New World of Steam. Uh, Apparently not a Steamroll Dig mashup though. Disappointing though. Just no release window, no nothing. Just hey, Professor Layton's back. First Professor Layton game we've had since 2014. I didn't realize it's
Yeah,
been
it's
that
been
long.
that long.
Yeah, that's nuts. That game was
The
like
last
they got like 8 games in like 10 years, and it just went away.
That's the thing about it. I mean, the original Professor Layton series, they had like 3 games in the DS. They had, I think it was like about also 3 games in the 3DS
Something
or
like
something
that. It
like
was
that.
nuts. Yeah.
2014, like you just stated, that was the last time we actually heard of Professor Layton in that regards. And then there's that crossover game that it had with Phoenix Wright.
That's right. Okay, I forgot about that one. Okay.
But as regards to like a full-on game and stuff like that, no, we haven't had like a traditional Professor Layton game in quite some time. As a matter of fact, when this announcement came through and stuff, it pretty much kind of signified to me that hey, Level Five's back. They
Yeah.
have all these different games, all these
Maybe.
different things. I mean, there's some hit or miss. I mean, I
Yeah.
gotta admit,
What was
yes,
the other
but
game they had in here, Gables?
that
Uh,
fashion game.
yeah. Okay. Let's not give them too much props yet. Okay. Fashion Dreams. Come on. Uh,
No,
Maybe
but
that
they
game's
are on
paying
the
the
right
bills for
track.
this game. I don't know.
They are on the right track though when it
Yeah.
comes to bringing back Professor Layton and all this other stuff.
Yeah. They should bring back Rogue Legacy. How about that? Those fucks. That was a level 5 game, wasn't it?
No,
Rogue
Rogue
Legacy?
Legacy.
I'm pretty sure. Rogue Legacy. Yeah. Oh, not Legacy. God, what's that PS2 JRPG game where you're in a boat in space? Rogue
Rogue Galaxy you were talking
Galaxy.
about.
That's what it was.
I don't
Yeah,
even
that
think that
was
was a
them.
level 5 game.
I'm pretty sure it is. Pretty sure it is. I'm gonna look this up. We're shutting the pocket. Level 5 made it in Japan Studios. They
Oh,
put developed
really?
it. Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. That's why I know them so well.
Now that's a
Um,
game that needs to come on the Switch.
yeah. I guess you guess play on PS4.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
true
better
too.
thing. But I need a remake. Next up though, Wave 4 of Mario Kart is coming. They added a brand new track. It seems like Yoshi's Island, and also
Hmm.
Birdo as a playable character, and that's coming this spring. No other details besides that, but I've been enjoying these Mario Kart editions. So
Hmm.
I've been it's kind of I kind of like the way it's breaking up, getting like 8 tracks at a time. Um, I think we're supposed to get there's 6 waves. We're supposed to get the last of them before the end of the year. Um, but yeah, I've been it's been fun to go back for like I go back for maybe like an hour or two every time that one's come out, and I like to like just do
Right.
the 50cc and then 100cc of them. But yeah, it's just kind of fun to 9 years later have a reason to go back and continue to play this goddamn game. So
Exactly the point, dude. I mean, I actually kind of liked that they did like Yoshi's Island for their course they unveiled and stuff because it looks pretty fucking cool.
yeah, yeah, it doesn't yeah. So for what we've seen of it, it looks like a nice addition here. So, but moving on to the one last thing,
Okay.
ended on a banger. Tears of the Kingdom trailer.
Hmm.
Out May 12th. A lot of people were like concerned about a delay. Um, I might, I think we all were in a way. We all were. It's a Zelda game. A Zelda game isn't a Zelda game until it's been delayed at least 3 times.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess we probably are in like this has to be like the third delay because it was a 2021, then a 2022, now it's a
Hmm.
2020. Yeah, this is the third delay, so I guess we're on track. Um, but got a trailer for that one. We got some more details. Got some story stuff on that one, but we also got a new amiibo announced, which I've already
Hmm.
fucking pre-ordered. Fuck yeah! Excited for that one. Any reason to buy an amiibo at this point for my sick disease? Um, but when we look at this trailer, I don't. It's not on par to the launch trailer one we had for Breath of the Wild when they actually revealed the release date in January
Oh, that
2017. Um,
that's a
whenever
hard one to top.
whenever I'm like having a bad mental health day, I just put that podcast or that trailer on, and I just watch it, and it's just immediate chills. Like it is life. It will bring you back from the abyss. That trailer is so fucking good. The music is top notch. It's only too bad that game wasn't very good. You know what I mean? It's too bad it was
Oh
the seventh best game of
no.
2017. Uh, uh, well, I
Oh
kid,
God.
mostly.
I
um,
know, I know, I know.
but I'm actually really pumped for this game. I think that looks fantastic. I'm curious. Like, I've been seeing some of the stuff out there about like people. I got their theories. My theory is that I think that you are working. You talk about Zelda says that we need your help. Um, I think she's talking to Ganon. I think you're going down to find Ganon. There's a bigger evil out there, Gables. There's something bigger than
Hmm.
Ganon. And you have to, because they show in the initial teaser trailer when they announce it's in development, they go down on the
Hmm.
ground and they find like Ganondorf's corpse or whatever. Uh, I think, and that's where the arm comes into play with him having like the weird arm thing. I think he has to team up with Ganondorf, and he gets Ganondorf's power to help him in this game.
I understand what you're saying and stuff, and there's definitely a lot of questions that need to be answered, like from that last previous trailer. What's interesting of note, though, is like that dude that literally kind of sounded what we're thinking is Ganon and stuff like that. It sounded like Matt Mercer
That's what
almost.
people were saying. Yeah, what is he from?
Matt Mercer. Oh God.
I hit the wrong button. Why the printer? I don't have a printer. Why did the printer button come up here? A fat finger
Oh
mode.
my gosh.
Go
What
ahead.
I'm. But I know the name sounds familiar. I just can't not place
Oh, this
where.
fuck.
But
Okay, I recognize. Oh god, he's an anime guy. Okay, yeah, all right. I hate this guy now. Um,
but
he
anyway,
voices
from
Hit
the
in Dragon Ball,
okay, yeah, yeah, that's why I remember him.
Monster Hunter. Jesus Christ, Monsters University, bunch of Resident Evil games or movies. Okay.
But to go back from to Tears of the Kingdom here, there was a lot of different type of things that were shown. I mean, granted, there was more of the things that we saw from the original Breath of the Wild and stuff in terms of what looked like similar gameplay aspects of it. I mean, that's to be expected, but there was different enemy types that we did see. There was this huge, like, bird-like creature or something that was attacking Link and stuff, and he had to go forth and try to shoot it down and stuff. And there was different aspects to it. Looked like you got to create specific like devices or something like that, or no, ride different devices. But it looks like Link was literally on like not like an ATV, but it looked like it was on a freaking cart going down
Yeah, I like
the
people were
field.
saying like nuts and bolts, like
And
Banjo.
that's exactly because that's what some of these creations kind of reminded people, like going into like the cart creator and stuff like that, create just like these weird anomalies and stuff like that in Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, the 360 game. But what's really cool, there's like this big old hovercraft that he was on top of, and it literally looked like something out of like a futuristic sort of Zelda game.
Yeah,
But yeah, the tail thing at the end and stuff, to where the last thing they show you is like you have Link literally diving towards Zelda to try to like just try to save her and stuff like that. And when Zelda says, "Hey," it's like let him borrow your power, or like please let him borrow. Like I don't know if that was Ganon that she was saying about it, but I think it could be something entirely different
yeah,
because let's think about it this way. It's like Ganon or Ganondorf has been the central point of being like the major evil in Legend of Zelda series for ever since the beginning, in some way, shape, or form. In regards to that, there are other types of entities that are prevalent in the Zelda kingdom to where that could be like one of them. There was a couple theory videos I was looking at in regards to on YouTube and stuff, and one of them actually had to go back to like one of the first trailers that we did go through and see. There was this tall figure that you have all those little what look like Magatomas and stuff around him and stuff like that. Apparently, this figure was inside the. It was not only inside the first trailer. I'm trying to piece together what I'm trying to say here,
not the
but
first teaser trailer, but the first like actual like gameplay trailer. You
yes,
mean?
the
Okay.
first actual gameplay trailer is what I was referring to. You see him once in the carvings and stuff, and towards the end of it, you see him parallel to what looks like a smaller figure, which kind of looks like Zelda.
Okay.
And I'm thinking it's one of these ancients and stuff that's responsible for the whole realm of like how the timeline stuff like that for the Legend of Zelda stuff was put out like years ago.
Yeah, they totally for the very next game they totally destroyed the whole timeline.
Yeah, exactly the point. They're thinking there are people that are speculating that this could be a signification of it being the end of the timeline for Legend of Zelda. Because Tears of the Kingdom and stuff, so I'm majorly going through it, but even in like the symbol in regards to the whole font and stuff like that, you have this specific type of being or something that's going along that kind of adds more credence to to oh god to like some just just something to preluding to something bigger.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say. But I don't think it's Ganon personally. I think it's just some other type of entity or something that Zelda either knows or probably having close contact with over the years and stuff like that before Link awakened,
Gotcha.
so to speak,
Okay.
before the events of Breath of the Wild.
I do want to go. I do want to find if someone because like at the end they do like because like the music from the one of the first trailers
Yeah,
was a song from Breath of the Wild played backwards
exactly. And then there was like
at the end of the
a
trailer.
same thing at the end of this trailer that
Yeah.
it would sound like something was played backwards, and I could have sworn it sounded like Zelda's Lullaby.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't
Because
looked up to see what that was yet. I'm sure someone by now has figured it out, but I would definitely have to go back and check that out. But
Nintendo put so many different types of like things inside of this trailer, so many action stuff, but there are plenty of things hidden inside there, and that's one of them. The
yeah,
whole reversal of the tracks, and also Zelda's last comment to what we're believing could be like some other type of like entity and stuff that we've not even met yet in order to help Link out, and that's part of how he gets his ability. Because it literally looks like to me when he has his that arm ability or whatsoever, it looks like something ancient, like something incredibly
yeah.
ancient.
It looks like Ganondorf.
It could possibly be. I mean, that's not something really that we can
Yeah,
dismiss.
yeah. I mean, I've watched Halo only a few times, so I mean, obviously that's just kind of my initial. I don't know. I like the idea of just like finally like let's get a Ganondorf Link team up, and then Ganondorf probably eventually will turn on Zelda and Link. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously, there's people out there that know the lore a lot better than I do. That's kind of my initial. When I
Right.
initially watched it, yeah, once I get done, I'm probably gonna go ahead and like watch some theory videos and stuff and kind of break
Exactly.
that
I
down a little bit more.
want to know what that song, that last little tidbit that played before the end of that trailer, because
Yeah,
we, like you and I both know, this is backwards. This sounds backwards for some reason.
yeah,
It just doesn't sound right.
yeah. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to check that out. But yeah, I think the trailer looks really good. I'm wondering, like we haven't got like that big blowout yet
No,
for a Zelda game, and maybe I wonder like I think at this point though they probably know the game is big enough at this point. They really don't have to show us anything. Um,
they don't, but they're probably going to tell us more about it like maybe a month away from the game or
yeah,
like a few weeks from the game.
yeah. I'm curious because we haven't got like that full blown like like talk about like Breath of the Wild a couple years before that came out. We had like that like a whole E3 where they just streamed the game for like 6 hours. Um,
Yeah, they did, and that was
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. I don't think obviously we're not gonna have an E3 to have that event, but I'm curious because I'd like to see like some uncut gameplay of this thing, to kind of see how's this game running, you know. But I mean
That's
obviously
true.
they feel very confident about this game because this is the first time ever they're charging $70 for a video game.
Absolutely.
So we had um, like that we were kind of talking about last night. Like that kind of went on the eShop page and like a couple other stores had it up, and then they took like retail stores had it for $60, and then immediately took it down. And then the eShop took it down their $70 thing, but like left the game on the store page, but you couldn't pre-order it anymore. And then once the game was officially announced, the trailer came out, was announced, went back up $70. Everybody was charging $70 on like retail stores. So I guess GameStop for a little bit was online was charging $60. And a bunch of people were like pre-ordering it, and they eventually took it down and put it
Hmm.
back up for 70. I've had the game pre-ordered for a while now at GameStop. Paid it off for $60. I wonder if I'm going to pay a difference. I'm going to hold out hope that I get that $10. Let me keep that $10. You get enough money from me, sons of bitches. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's the thing I've been saying for a long time. I said this when PlayStation announced they're increasing the prices to $70. Um, Prices go up. Games have gone up $20 now in 25 years. That's pretty good for us. Um, I mean, I would say it's a little harder. It's a harder, like, obviously I don't like paying more, but it's the same thing with like when when the Switch, I jumped up to 350 with the OLED. PS5 went up to 550 in other countries.
Right.
Even the Microsoft just announced they raised the prices in a couple of countries as well. Um, they're gonna charge it because they know you can get away with it. Uh, I will say it's a harder pill to swallow because like at least when prices went up to $60, we were getting like that was the beginning of the 360 PS3 era when we were getting like HD
Yeah.
games, and then we're getting like when the games went to $70, we were like, PlayStation. We're like 4K is the standard, and it's a PS5, and then like Xbox waited until like Starfield's gonna be their first $70 game. I believe Resident Evil 4 is Capcom's first $70 game. Um, I mean Ubisoft with another big hitter, Skull and Bones is gonna be their first $70 game, equally as big as Tears of the Kingdom. Um, but that's a joke, Gables. You look very concerned when I said that. But I mean, yeah, I mean, Pikmin 4 is only gonna be $60, so I mean, yeah, price go. It's like I said, it's a little harder pill to swallow because we're at the end of this generation, and I would say this direct very clearly shows we're at the end of that generation because we are getting. If you look at like, I mean, there's some cool shit in here announced. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm excited to play Metroid Prime Remaster and like the Game Boy stuff being added. Finally, being able to play trading card game, but figures they do it at the
Yep.
end of the goddamn generation. It's like when they put out Pokemon Snap on the Wii U after the Switch is already out. It's fucks.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, like I said, it's a hard pill to swallow because like their games have just been getting progressively and progressively not progressively, but worse and worse as like running as this generation has gone on. And like even Breath of the Wild, the launch game didn't run super duper well at launch. We just came off of, I know it's not a Nintendo doesn't own Pokemon Company, but those two are very much tied. After coming off of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, all that, and then like just playing any games, Kirby, uh, Mario plus Rabbids. Those games are not run like still good. Like the games are still good, but like they are becoming worse and worse to play on these platforms. So I would say on that end, um, that's the hard part to swallow about the price increases. Like, but it's
Mm.
like I
Mm.
guess it helps that like it does, but it's one of those things where it's like it's fucking Tears of the Kingdom. It's not gonna be maybe their biggest game ever based off sales, but
Right.
it's gonna be one of their biggest games ever based off of just reaction, success. It's gonna be game of the year contender most likely. It's probably gonna be game of the year at Game Awards. Um, yeah, I don't know, but it's whatever. I mean, I'm gonna pay. I'm gonna pay it. We're all gonna pay it. I've been on that board for a long time. It's like, yeah, we can complain about it. I told you yesterday, if base God of War Ragnarok came out and it was $100, would I have bitched? Yeah. Would I have paid for it? Yeah. So, uh, I do enjoy the people that I've seen a lot of people online that were bitching and talking shit about PlayStation, all these other companies charging for $70 for the last 2 years. All of a sudden
Hmm.
now defending the $70 price point. I have enjoyed that. But
Oh
yeah,
my
I don't know.
gosh.
What
It
was
just
your?
tells you. Okay, what I was basically going to say is that, yeah, it sucks that Tears of the Kingdom is going to be the first Switch game that it's going to be $70 at launch and stuff. But when I look at it, it's like it's definitely worth it from what I
Yeah,
initially have seen and stuff. It's basically going to come down to people voting with their wallet based on game by game. It's like I have already spent $70 once this year in regards to getting Dead Space remastered and stuff, and that was worthwhile. I spent $70 plus last year for God of War Ragnarok because I thought that was worthwhile and stuff. But yeah, it's like,
I spent $70 on Forspoken.
yeah, yeah, and you thought it was worthwhile.
I don't know about that yet, Gil. We're early in. Holy
But
shit!
what?
The Nets just traded Kevin Durant to the Suns.
Oh, holy crap. Well, that's a little bit of sports
Yeah,
data right there for you.
yeah,
Kevin Durant to the
yeah. It just
Suns.
popped on my
Oh,
phone
that.
just now. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, anyway, when it comes to the price point for $70 being like a standard now for like a new releases and stuff, I mean, I'm not too surprised by it now, only because that, hey, you know what, the cost of gaming and stuff in general, I mean, it's weird seeing a game company increase their prices in regards to their not only their systems in certain territories, but also their games in and of itself. But at the same point, as a consumer, you got to look at say, hey, you got to really nail down which games you really want to play in this
Yeah.
case and scenario. And if you can't really afford to get like one or two games like a month or something, like some of us can, I mean, hey, that's respectable. Just go and just buy the ones that you really feel 100% that you're going to play through and play.
Yeah, like Forspoken.
Oh my god, dude. But anyway, yeah, man, that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like you said. I mean, it's the same thing I said when they initially announced the PlayStation announced the price jump. It's a, yeah, it's just like you got, it's got to be a little bit smarter about what you buy, and definitely I would say in the last, the last couple of years, especially as you get older and you become more of an adult, um, yeah, you gotta be a little smarter about what you buy. Says the guy that just bought Forspoken for at full price. Um, but typically, I like to be a lot smarter when I buy. So yeah, I mean, it will become like. I figured I knew the $70 price point was only a matter of time, but I figured they'd wait till the
Mhm.
next console. And it's kind of shocking going. Yeah, we are in year 7 of the Switch by that point in May. So um, yeah, but I mean, whatever. It's gonna be probably one of the greatest games of all time. So I mean, and
Mm.
at worst, you know what? Even if it's not one of the greatest games of all time, it's a sequel to one of the greatest games of all time. So that's going to sell. And you think about it, what for every million they sell, that's an extra $10 million in the bank account for them.
Mhm.
So that game's, I mean, that game's probably going to sell 15, 20
Absolutely.
million. Think about that. So yeah, you're talking that's a couple $100 million in the bank account. And so yeah, I mean, it's whatever. But overall, I would say I thought the first like 30 minutes of that direct were pretty bad. Not bad, but not great. I was like, it was better than the farming simulator one we had last June. Um, it
Mhm.
was, I would say, on par with the one we had last September. God, last September one was awful, and but then we had the Tears of the Kingdom trailer, and that saved it. I think when we think about that last one, all we think about is Tears of the Kingdom because like there was nothing else. And then,
Yep.
I mean, Shigeru Miyamoto spent more time talking about Pikmin Bloom than Pikmin 4 and that thing. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, like I would say it's definitely one of the better ones we've had in a while. But because that especially because that last like 10, 12 minutes. Once we got to like we got like Game Boy, then we had Metroid, and then yeah, with Game Boy, Metroid, back to back, and then yeah, we had some good solid games like Ring Code, Professor Layton coming back, Way Forward Mario Kart DLC, and then Tears of the Kingdom, like just a really solid way to end the direct. But boy, if we just went straight to Tears of the Kingdom, this would have been a awful direct after outside of Tears of the Kingdom. But yeah, I'm gonna say I think I gave that last one like a 6.5 out of 10, 6.5 the one in September. I'd probably put this at like a 7, 7.5 just because Game Boy Advance coming, Metroid Prime out today. That's awesome, even though it kind of leaked early in the day. Yeah, I thought overall a really good direct, and like it's been like I said, it's been a long time since we've had those banger ones where it's just boom, 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 all these great games getting announced. Um, but Nintendo was on a hot streak from like the launch of the Switch to like March 2020 when Animal Crossing came out, and it's just been kind of like we've definitely gone back to that normal pace of Nintendo games where it's like kind of like some long gaps, and then here's a game, long gap, here's a game or two. But yeah, like I said, it definitely feels like within the generation, but still like we're able to pull out some pretty cool stuff here. So give us what was your opinions on it?
All right, so my opinions upon things and stuff. To to try to do like a throwback to last week, the things I thought about the Nintendo Direct really, it's like I thought there were a couple different things I did think, but one of the commonality things I thought we may see this Direct are
Yeah,
ports and like remaster stuff like that, and yeah, that's pretty much what we saw for a lot of the majority of it. Kind of suggesting to myself, and I can only speculate at this point, this is going to be the last major year for the Nintendo Switch
I feel like we said that
in
last year.
terms of
So
yeah, and quite honestly, I thought we were right
yeah,
then too because we don't really
yeah,
have to. I mean, we've had that build up and stuff to where it felt like Nintendo was eventually going to tease us something else, and they
yeah.
went on a different path like they normally do. In terms of the direct itself, this had a lot of different notes with me, not just because of a couple of different aspects of like expansion passes and stuff for pre-existing games I like Fire Emblem Engage, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, even Splatoon 2 to some extent, even though I'm not a fan of having to pay for a freaking just the walk on Ingopolis. But in regards to every other things that it hit, I mean, there was a lot of games that were hit across multiple different fan bases, multiple different kinds of things. I actually kind of felt more positive for this one only because it touched in regards to the it just touched a lot of different fields and a lot of different fan bases to where things we haven't heard of from a while, from Batten Kaitos, that collection stuff, the whole thing with Etrian Odyssey, those first three games and stuff, major hardcore niche style of like dungeon crawler games, but yet there are people that absolutely love these games to
Mm.
pieces. Going through with like even with Pikmin 4, that the whole aspect of the gameplay stuff being revealed and that looking like a fun experience leading towards summer. I thought that one looked fairly good. In regards to some of the lulls of it, I mean, yeah, there were some lulls in regards to this stuff. The fashion game by level 5, for example. I mean, the freaking the Disney Illusion stuff, which I thought looks pretty okay and stuff, but at the same point, not something I'm probably going to be getting at launch, if
Yeah.
anything. But other than that, though, it's like there were banger after banger stuff leading towards the end of this direct to where it's like we got Game Boy things announced, we got Game Boy Advance things announced, we got the whole Metroid Prime like remastered stuff that one was announced too, and then that led up. You have the Batten Kaitos 1+2 collection and stuff, plus the unveilings there that Professor Layton's coming back and stuff. There were a multitude of like older franchises or just plain like classic franchises that were represented by Nintendo that haven't been touched upon literally in the past 15, possibly 20 years. Even like surprises, things that come out of nowhere, even though, yes, there were some that were kind of leaked in regards to Salma de Amigo and stuff like that, but me going into things, the only thing I had really as a rumor thing to go back on is that there were speculations that Advanced Wars would have been Shadow
Yeah.
Drop today. But no, that was
No.
completely different. It was the last thing I thought. I mean, the Metroid Prime remaster stuff was the last thing that we thought. But going to the different aspects, seeing what we've seen, and knowing what we know right now, this whole direct feels like a 9 out of 10 to me because delved delved and it just addressed a lot in regards to what people have been wanting inside of Nintendo, like the Nintendo fan community and stuff like that, plus a lot of different aspects that were awesome were, hey, Metroid Prime remastered being shadow dropped on the day of the direct itself through digital, even though like physical stuff is releasing later on this month. But that being $40, the Zelda trailer, as as vague as some portions of it were, we saw more gameplay stuff and more awesome stuff that's going to be some we're going to be delving into. It just felt like that this was a fantastic direct to me. And yeah, the ones I feel like people that really aren't too much into it, it's like the ones that were not really into like a lot of the hardcore JRPG stuff, maybe not all
Ports.
into the
Yeah.
ports or something like that. I mean, yeah, I can understand that. I mean, this is a direct that's going to hit on like a specific
Yeah.
core
It's a
group of
very
Nintendo
personal.
fans,
It's a very
which yeah,
personal direct. Like either I feel like it's definitely gonna like um, like either like if you're wanting new games, maybe this is not the direct for you. But if you're a fan, like a longtime fan of
right.
Nintendo, it's a pretty goddamn good direct.
Well, I will say this though. I thought it was pretty funny, like the day leading up to this direct, where Doug Bowser himself
The
went through
bingo
and
card.
commented on Twitter, posted, "Yeah, think about the bingo card. Make sure you guys have your
Yeah.
bingo cards ready." That comment alone made me speculate. Okay, okay, they're gonna be calling out some games that we haven't heard
Yeah.
from in a while. Because if they're saying that this stuff would have been on bingo stuff, I thought of 5 different things that would have matched like the past couple directs or people's bingo cards, and there were like almost exactly the games
Yeah.
that
It's exciting too
Nintendo
because it's the
announced
first time in a
today.
long time, really since like Reggie and he retired and Iwata passed, that we've actually like had some like real
Hmm.
personality out of like the Nintendo people. Like we haven't really had that in a
Yeah,
long time, so it was kind of cool to see. Unfortunately, he wasn't in the direct, but I like kind
nah,
of gives a little tease of like maybe there's a little comeback to that. But yeah, but also I meant to mention at the time, no Pokemon Yellow, Gold, Silver, nothing for those Game Boy Advance stuff.
nah. I th- I personally think they're probably going to try to work that stuff out because they have to work that out with like say Pokemon Coliseum and stuff.
That's a game.
Not Pokemon Coliseum, but like Pokemon
Yeah, those are
Stadium 2.
coming
Those
later.
games
Yeah,
are going to be releasing on the
just
N64 Virtual Console, and it would make a lot of sense if, like, say, you have the first or the second generation of those Pokemon games being available on there and
but
being
what
compatible to
they
the
didn't even like
N64
announce it
stuff.
coming like later though, which is weird. And yeah, like because you feel like if
I
you're
know,
gonna
I know,
create a
right?
Game Boy, you know, for the Nintendo Switch Online, like the Pokemon Gen 1 games would be the first games on that list. Like those are
They would be.
still like I think this
Absolutely.
now like the second best selling Pokemon games of all time behind Sword and Shield. So, um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I thought it was kind of weird. I'm like, wow, okay, but hey, trading card games in there, so that's all I fucking care about. But yeah, I think Gables, that's gonna wrap it up for us this time. We'll be back Saturday with a normal with
Hmm.
another normal podcast. Believe it or not, this is supposed to be the short podcast. We got an hour and a half. Um, I'm glad we did this then, because you know, Saturday would have been a very long podcast if we did all this and top of everything else. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, listening. If you're new, jumping in because you see the Nintendo stuff, hey, appreciate it. Give us a like, follow, subscribe. Look in the description down below, and you'll see links to all of our socials, podcast services. We're on Apple, Spotify, all that fun jazz. So if you're an audio listener, hey, please go to our YouTube channel, like, follow, subscribe. We live stream on there on YouTube every Saturday night. We do a normal podcast. And if we are able to, we'll do live reactions, stuff like that. But we're just, we're two guys that have full time jobs and kind of do this for fun. So, but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be back in a few days with another podcast. Love you guys. Bye.
See ya.